Restoration Information Show. Let's start with a word of prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. Heavenly Father, we the people, on behalf of the United States of America, come to you this day as our nation's founding fathers did so many years ago. We humbly ask for your guidance and wisdom so that we the people, with your leadership, may restore America to the country you guided our forefathers to establish. We also humbly ask that you help unite all Americans in this effort so that all may once again enjoy the rights you blessed us with and left in our safekeeping. Forgive us, Lord, for turning away from you and squandering our liberty, for we know that by restoring you to your place on high in this nation, we will never again forget that it is you, Father, from whom our liberty flows. Help us restore it, O Father, for your glory. Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Independence Day, everybody. You are with the Liberty Restoration Information Show. Sorry about that. Celebrating the 3 days of our independence. And I'm going to steal some thunder from my co-host, Jeremy Deeter, and by telling you that the second was the Lee Resolution. Signatures on the Declaration of Independence occurred when, Jeremy Deeter?
Really happened today on the 3rd, sir.
On the 3rd, and then we celebrated July the 4th. I guess that's when they released it, was July the 4th. But our actual independence, as far as becoming independent nation states, occurred on July the 2nd. So I don't belabor that point, really, or cause anybody's head to explode over something that trivial a fact, but fact remains. Facts are facts. So, how, Jeremy, are you spending your Labor Day or your Independence Day weekend? My God, I need to get on board. I need to wake up. I need caffeine is what I need. Go ahead.
There you go. Yeah, get some coffee going there. Just family, good food. We're relaxing and listening to everybody else's fireworks all around us and watching our special needs cats freak out every time they hear large booms. So, but no, we're just relaxing, really enjoying each other, having a good time, eating some good food, and we know how to cook around here, so we'll spend hours and hours in the kitchen, and having a good time, man. We've been in a lot of good conversation too. There's been quite a few new people. I guess when we've asked people, hey, can you share out the links and things like that, they've really been doing it, really been getting it out there, because a lot of new folks, a lot of new faces, a lot of new groups, a lot of good social networkers out there, and we need all of them. And they're obviously doing an incredible job, because I've been getting messaged, I've been getting put in different groups, asked a lot of different questions, and thought it might be important tonight for us to go over some of the different methodologies that have been discussed, some of the things that work better than other things. I know that you have some news as well. I know that you've got really big news. And are we releasing that on the show today, or are we not doing that yet?
No, go right ahead, sir. You're on a roll. You're doing
okay.
Good.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to go ahead and release that or not. I didn't know if we were going to tell people about our friend down in Florida there. And if so,
should be coming up in a few minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I'll leave that to you then. We do have that news on that end, and then as far as the methodologies, we want to get into some of the things that we've tried to institute, some of the things that we've tried to put a little bit of light to, see what works a little bit better than other things. I definitely am going to get into some of those methodologies, but when we get into this, understand that you, as a listener, the open-mindedness needs to come from you guys. Your area better than anybody else. So any of the methodologies, any of the different types of efforts discussed are all along general lines, because it's meant for everyone listening to take from it what they believe is going to work best for their area, and then institute it there, whether it's contacting media, if you guys need to know how to put together press releases, because that's, you can fax, you can email, you can, all kinds of stuff with press releases. That's also a way to establish a rapport with local media. Most people say media is garbage. Well, they're a tool, and they're a tool that's used against us. Let's start to use the tools that are used against us to our benefit. And that's part of that methodology. And all the way down to paper flyers, to online radio shows, to contacting different businesses, the different things that you want to, the different ways you want to present it, depending on who it is that you're talking to. And it's not because one way is disingenuous or the other is not. It's that if you're talking to a business person, understand that person speaks in numbers. So you don't want to disrupt their numbers, their ability to create the numbers they need for their business. And you always want to take that into consideration. Now, it would be different if you were talking to, say, a church leader, and you're talking to them about getting their congregation together, whoever in their congregation may be like-minded, and talking to them about some of the early church leaders that helped to found this country. They were the shepherds of their flock. And we've had a church leader on this show, and he understood that principle very well and takes it very seriously. So, just the different methods depending on who it is we're speaking to and what has been more effective than other things, and also coming from people's experience. If, excuse me.
Pardon me 1 second. If any of y'all are confused about what Jeremy's talking about, he's talking about spreading the word about thelibertypledge.com, the work of the Liberty Restoration Committee, and moving onward united. So I almost said that word forward. That's actually a progressive word in my book, so I try and stay away from forward. So we move onward united in our efforts to be able to make sure we can pass liberty on to our children and grandchildren. And Jeremy's talking about all the different methods and things that work or may not work. There were some comments made about People were shocked to hear that at a few of the meetings in Kansas, there were only like a dozen people that showed up. Well, there were a dozen people that did stand up, and they did show up. And we're searching for other ways to reach more and more people. But I want to keep, I want everybody to keep something in mind. Only about 8-9 weeks into this particular movement, and we have representatives from all 50 states. We have people representing population from all 50 states involved in this. The numbers are actually staggering as a total, but they're also, by the same token, like a drop in the bucket when you compare it to the total population. But only we can change that. You, me, Jeremy, everybody involved. We're the only ones that can change that. Go ahead, Jeremy. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
I probably should have explained that. I appreciate that. This is our effort. It is the natural reaction of the American people that work hard and love their friends and family fiercely and see their country, for lack of better words, circling the drain. And we're unwilling to allow this country to be squandered or taken from us on our watch. We have a lawful, peaceful means and methodology that we have gotten together with the American people very publicly to put under their scrutiny to say, hey, this is what I think will work, this is what won't work, this is what I think is the best part, whatever it is. And we've put together something I think that is incredibly effective, but not only that, anybody reading it, and this is the continuous challenge, anybody reading it, you cannot question the motives or the intent of the document or the people behind it and all of the people that have contributed. There would be no way for someone to do that. You can tell, obviously, this is our attempt, this is our effort to regain control of our lands, to have say in our own governance, to get sovereignty back to the states, back to the people, to make sure that we're not under a federal government that is just run amok. And instead of going to every single department and every single agency and every single committee and trying to fix each and every one at a time, we looked at the committee looked at the organic documents that founded the nation and said, they already gave us the answer. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. They already gave us the answer as to how to regain control of our lands. We found out that through word definition, that was a large part in how our liberties and freedoms were taken from us. So we put extra assurances in there to make sure that savvy wording cannot take away our rights, our liberties, or our freedoms anymore. And again, that's the continuous challenge. Everybody go to thelibertypledge.com, check out the documents we're talking about. Check out the plan, check out the Declaration of Intent, check out the People's Constitution, and see what you believe for yourself. Do you believe that this is a damaging document? Do you believe this is something that will harm us? Because if so, tell us immediately. If you're a member of a group that we haven't heard of and you believe you have a better idea, tell us immediately. We'll promote your group, and we still want you to be part of your group, regardless of if you like our group, if you like our idea. This is an idea for everyone. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, or whatever you are. If you're American and you want freedom and you want your country back, this is the natural course of events of what happens when a government is run amok. Of course the people are going to rise. Of course they're going to stand. And of course Americans are going to try to do it in a civil, moral manner. So you're right. I should have explained that. I should have told everybody this is what we're talking about, because the methodology is concerned when you have something that's politically driven or hot button, they need to be specific. They really do. You need to at least have a specific guideline. And some of those methods is what I was referring to in the aforementioned. So I appreciate that. And I think that if this is your first time listening, the Liberty Restoration Committee is the people that you're listening to, our disembodied voices, but it's also you if you choose for it to be, because this is very much a grassroots American idea. We are very new. We are very young. We've seen a lot of attention very early, a lot of interest, and we appreciate it. That's exactly what we want. We at the very least, if we've done nothing else, we want to engage our countrymen and countrywomen politically, purposefully, and get them to discern things for themselves along their own lines, not our lines and not the government's lines, their own lines. And we believe that when they discern for themselves, they will naturally find themselves standing shoulder to shoulder with us. And if we're wrong, we'll stand on the merits of what we say, and we're willing to discuss it with anybody. So if you've called in, if you do want to discuss it, go ahead and press 1. Let us know. And with that, Ernest, I will throw it back to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The number to call in if you're listening online, 424-258-9220. And like Jeremy just told you, press 1 if you want to be a part of the show. This is, we're operating on Blog Talk, and sometimes we have technical difficulties. Tonight we are just one click above 2 cans and a string as far as communications go. I will want to let the producer know that I'm in the same communication setup I was last night. So if she needs to let me know about someone that is called in that we're expecting, you're going to have to use the same methods we used last night to be able to notify me of that. Because I'm in Texas. I'm in one part of Texas. Our producer's in another part of Texas. Jeremy is in Ohio. So we do these shows every weekend, holiday weekends or not. We have taken off Mother's Day and Father's Day. That was to honor the mothers and fathers all involved. But other than that, you can count on us being here. And we have got some new things coming up for the Liberty Restoration Committee. New ways of reaching people, new ways of reaching out. We're going to be discussing those amongst ourselves. We'll have some big announcements to make on the Facebook pages. If you haven't yet liked the Facebook page, it's pretty easy to remember. It's The Liberty Pledge. That's one of them. There are several pages out there where we keep all this information posted, probably over 100-something pages. It's one of the reasons why we did explode out of the gate, so to speak. So this effort, while we talk about different ways, different methods, everything else, the bottom line is people have got to know about it. They've got to understand there are tens of millions of people a lot more awake than anybody, even myself, as it turns out. Give some credit for being. They know a lot more. They know so much is wrong with our nation as it stands right now. So much is wrong. So much is out of place. Things are upside down. They're backwards. Okay, we know that. If you did that, you wouldn't even be listening in to learn more about it. But here's the thing. Out of those people, as I talk to them, as I run into them every day, as I pass out the business cards with the web,
We can also have a conference line where people can call in. We can do a conference 1 hour a day. We're talking about building more accessibility for questions, comments, concerns,